Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the football show with no name. It is Wednesday at 7:30, and we took a hiatus last week because I was busy with work stuff. Lauren didn't feel good, and Ferg didn't feel good either. So we took a hiatus last week. So welcome back to you guys, and thank you for viewing. Ferg is really going to lead the conversation today because I feel as bad as the Patriots look. And so with that, I'm going to throw it over to Lauren because she has something planned.
I have a surprise for the viewers. Where is Brittany? Is she here yet?
I don't know.
No
Brittany,
idea.
give us a shout. All right. The surprise is signing in. So I'm going to start the intro then while he's getting his stuff together. So my grandmother passed away over Sunday night, and
damn, Lauren,
I'm sorry.
She's 100 years old, but it's gonna be a bad couple days. But I called my oldest friend that I've known for he was in diapers and I was in kindergarten, and we were just talking about I was letting him know what had happened over the weekend, and when he signs in, I'm going to tell you about this conversation we had because it blew my mind. He forgot to mention a really important detail to me for like the last 20 years about who he went to school with.
Okay. So it's interesting.
Yep. So we're going to have a guessing game. So he's give him like 2 or 3 minutes if we want to talk about one of the games real quick while he's signing in.
Actually, you know what? I do want to talk about something real quick while he's signing in, and then I just got soup delivered, so I'm going to go grab that real quick. So I heard a crazy stat about the Patriots that I wanted to share, that they are the first team in NFL history to cover a spread scoring 0 points.
I did hear that as well.
Yeah, 6.5 point spread versus the Chargers.
Yep.
What?
How crazy is that?
Yeah, they scored 0 points, and you could have still won your
money,
your spread.
That's pretty bonkers. So, all right,
is that like an indictment on how bad the Patriots are, or how
they're terrible,
or how bad the Chargers are?
Well, actually,
they're terrible. I'll be right back, guys.
Yep.
Is it the Chargers are just terrible, or is Belichick the defensive bad guy? Belichick, is he still just that good?
So here's the thing. So, and I've thought about this. Brandon Staley is the head coach of the Chargers, who I have no love for. And help me with his name because I can't. Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore used to be the offensive coordinator of the Dallas Cowboys. Now he is the offensive coordinator of the Los Angeles Chargers. And Kellen Moore, like he did in Dallas, just wants to throw the ball 67 times a game.
He's an old quarterback.
Okay. I mean, sure, but Justin Herbert is not that kind of quarterback, and the reason why the Chargers have been successful, not in the playoffs, but have been successful, is because of players like Austin Eckler, who rushes the ball for 12 times for 18 yards and costs me the number 1 seed to Lauren in our Any Given Sunday League.
Yeah.
Wait, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Yeah, repeat it one more time.
Say that again?
I was talking about how the Chargers are just not utilizing their weapons, and that's a lot of the reason why the Patriots were able to score 0 points but hold the Chargers to 6 and still win. A lot of it is the Patriots being really inept, and a lot of it is the Chargers just not knowing what they're doing.
Patriots defense,
I feel like
a little bit of help would be the best defense in football. Just a little bit of offensive help. I mean, Patriots defense, they might be the best defense in football. Anyway.
Tell me what you think, Ian. But I knew the Patriots were going to fall at some point, but I didn't know they were going to fall and land it was like it was like a cliff just into the toilet bowl. Like it wasn't even like a great gradual decline. It was just rapid.
It is. I mean, you're right, Lauren. It has to do a lot with the first year without Tom Brady. Really gave a false mirage, a false facade to everybody. Where Mac had a really good rookie season, and they made the playoffs, and people thought, hey, anybody can run this offense. It's not just Tom Brady. Brittany is here, so we can do surprises soon. But Mac Jones is not it, and Bill Belichick is not it. So, I mean, the Patriots, you're right, fell off a giant cliff, and it just kind of shows you how good Tom Brady really was.
He's incredible. The only thing I would add to that about the Patriots, it's really all Bill's fault. Bill gets all the credit, but this one he gets all the blame because he could have flipped that Mac Jones pick to San Fran and completely reshaped the fortunes of the Patriots right after.
And the 49ers.
Brady. But like I said, he got that fake year that Mac Jones had where he made the Pro Bowl. What was he, like the 8th alternate or something? But still, like he was never good. Like he never was good though.
He was on a team that still had what would be considered a borderline championship level defense, still had some good players offensively. Damian Harris was still there. So there were still some good players there. And they just figured, hey, this is the system. It's not the quarterback. Anybody can. It's kind of like a Mike Shanahan offense on the Broncos in the 90s. Just plug any running back in there and run the counter tray, and you'll go for 1,000 yards. And I think Bill.
That says more about the GM and the offensive line and just how good.
I mean, the Patriots never had like any stars per se. So like it's interesting what Tom Brady does. I mean, aside from Tom, but like wide receivers like
Randy.
Okay, and then Joe Cinco when he needed to retire.
What about Gronk? I mean,
Gronk was
Aaron Hernandez.
And
I won't discount Hernandez. Hernandez was better than Gronk.
Who was the
Julian Edelman?
The
playoff Andy Amendola.
No.
They didn't have
playoff Wes Welker.
Yeah,
playoff Danny Amendola. I mean, Lauren is right. They never, except for Randy Moss in that 2007 season, the Patriots never really had.
No, for sure they didn't. They didn't have anything.
You got
David Gibbons, Troy Brown,
Deion
Corey Dillon one year.
Corey Dillon was there. Yeah,
Corey Dillon was.
He was there.
Yeah,
Corey Dillon came over in 2004 through 2006. So they were good. They were good players. They were great players, but not necessarily those elite players. So it kind of shows you that Tom Brady really was all that.
Mm-hmm.
He had Gronk, very much the same as Patrick Mahomes has Kelsey. Now, Mahomes had Tyreek Hill for 4 or 5 years. Moss was with Brady for a year and a half. So you have that sort of comparison. We can go into a whole debate of who would you rather have, prime Brady or prime Mahomes.
Let's veer off in 2 seconds since Clint is eating his soup. He's getting his throat together.
I'm okay. Y'all can go ahead. I'll put it on mute when I'm eating my soup.
That you just said about these different players.
Baltimore fans.
The Cleveland Flying Eagles. Thank you, Nick.
So I have to tell you, my entire family they just sent me a picture. I'll show you. They're all in the same room because we're all gathered. We have stuff to attend to. So they're actually all hanging out in the same room right now, and they're all ready to talk about some Joe Flacco.
Flying Flaccos.
Blatney's, it's good to see you guys.
Well, the conversation I was going to was quarterback play. And you had mentioned, you said Mahomes and Tyreek. And I remember earlier in the year we had a conversation because Tyreek got slaughtered by saying that Tua was more accurate than Mahomes. So now here we are, 13 weeks later. Tyreek's on the doorstep of 2,000 yards. Tua's leading all Pro Bowl vote as of today, I think. Was he right? Was Patrick Mahomes that dude? Or is Kelsey and Tyreek Hill really those?
So let me respond first to Tyreek's comment that Tua is more accurate than Mahomes. And here's the problem with that statement. The problem is not with the statement itself. The problem is when he made that statement. He made that statement before week 1 of this season when Tua had missed half of the previous season with his head in somebody else's locker room. So it's not the statement itself which is wrong. It is when the statement was made, which is what made it more controversial. Patrick Mahomes has one of the most amazing deep balls you'll ever see. Tua Tagovailoa is pause is one of pause to eat. Got it.
No. Never mind, Ian. Keep going, bro.
Okay,
we're listening.
He's trying to be funny.
Okay.
I have to try.
Here's the thing: if you want to make that comparison, Tua is engineering Tyreek to having one of the best seasons by an individual player in the history of this league over 120 years, whatever it is. Did Travis Kelce ever have one of those years that he was hands down I'm talking like a record-breaking, nobody has ever done anything. He's been
pretty sure he had like 1,700 yards.
Kelce was the consistent. He was the only. He never had a blip. And sometimes we discount Kelce because he never had a blip. He was just when he was good with Alex Smith, and once he got there, he was incredible.
I gotta show y'all something real quick because I just Googled Travis Kelce just so I can see the stats and pull up that season that he had. This is what first came up.
Yeah, him and Taylor Swift are now an item.
Okay,
yeah.
So anybody, and by the way, the streak is over now. So they lost the last time Taylor was at the show. So
Taylor Swift Taylor Swift grew up like 20 minutes from where I'm living now in Philadelphia. She was from a town called Reading, which is maybe 20 miles west of where I am now.
So Ian, in a 3-year span from let's take it to 2018 to present, 13-36-10, 12-29-5, 14-16-11, 11-25-9, 13-38-12 last year. And so far, he's at 8-13-5.
Great seasons. Great seasons.
I mean, he probably broke tight end records.
Yeah, but they don't hold. I would argue that they are great records for his position. That he is a first ballot Hall of Famer. He absolutely will be. He is the tight end one of the last decade and probably the next 5 years. But nothing like that rewrote the record books. And that's what Tyreek is doing. And he's doing
crazy.
it. And he's doing it. Let's mind this: that Travis Kelce did these things on a team where Tyreek Hill was there, but who else was there? Who were the running backs that were there? Nobody. So Tyreek Hill is doing it this year with a Jalen Waddle, who is a 1A, who is a 1 on every other team in this league.
And a crazy good running game.
2 running backs.
Crazy good running backs.
And Achane, who are just going crazy. So it's not like
with no tight end game to mention.
95% of the targets are going to Tyreek. That's not what's happening.
Okay. So a couple of things. If y'all haven't watched Hard Knocks yet, the end season with the Dolphins, you really should. It's really, really, really fucking good.
Mike McDaniel's awesome.
Mike McDaniel's now my favorite person. Lauren, is your question session ready to start?
Somebody's here.
Someone's here? All right.
That's me. Hi.
We have and we're adding someone else to the stage here.
Wait, who is this?
I don't know. We got to get a camera.
This is Lauren's childhood friend.
Luna or Jeff? Which one?
Jeff, can you hear us?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear us?
Yeah, we can't see it.
Okay.
We can't.
I don't have
We just can't see it.
We just have a camera. So here's what we're gonna do, guys. So since my family's all watching, that's Jeff McGettigan there, family. Remember, we grew up with him. So we're gonna play a game, and Jeff already knows the answer. Jeff already knows the answer to this game. So we're gonna do. Ian and Clint are gonna play this game. Get your Google ready.
I have to Google things.
So like I said, Jeff and I grew up together. I was in kindergarten when we first met. We have been close ever since. He's a member of my family. So you would think that like we would know everything about each other, right? Okay. So Jeff doesn't watch football, doesn't follow football. He could probably tell you who like 2 guys total, right?
Sorry.
So we were talking last night. I told him about my grandmother, and we were talking about like people who inspired us in our lives. And he started telling me about this classmate. And Jeff, where did you go to high school?
Valley Forge Military Academy.
Okay. All right. There's
Also,
your first
right
clue.
down the road from where I am right now.
Great.
Yeah.
It's your first
Where
clue.
are you?
Also, Jeff is 40. That's
I-
another clue.
Jeff
Um,
takes a
I-
shot everywhere.
Jeff,
So
I
he's
am
got his
in.
classmate.
I'm
sorry.
in Collegeville, PA. That's where I am.
Okay, so you're like on the main line. Gotcha.
I am closer to like Limerick, Royersford. Main line is more like Bryn Mawr.
I
So
guess
about 15
if I
miles west.
spoke
Yeah, I gotcha.
I would know what they were talking about.
All right. So we're talking about influential people. And he's telling me about a classmate of his, and he was like, this guy, he really helped me see things certain ways, and like really just a great guy, molded me. And he's like, but he played for the Arizona Cardinals. And I was like, what? I was like, you've never told me this story before. What are you talking about? And then I'm like racking my brain. I'm like, who?
Pat Tillman.
No, you gotta go. You gotta go way.
That would be 50 now.
That was
Dan
way too
Dierdorf.
obvious.
Do you guys want me to put my
Way
camera?
too
Like,
obvious.
I can go get my camera out of my closet and like put on a camera.
No. It's fine. It's fine.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so
No, it's okay, bro.
knowing that Jeff is 40, and knowing that I've been in football probably since like the late 90s, if you say who's the Arizona Cardinal that comes to your first comes into your head, like who would you think of?
Larry Fitzgerald.
There you go. That's who he sat
Larry
with in high
Fitzgerald
school.
or Kurt Warner.
Yes.
No
Larry
kidding.
Fitzgerald.
Larry
So this man
Fitzgerald.
has been known Larry
That's
Fitzgerald this entire, and so he's telling me
That's
these stories about
amazing.
how they were like wrestling partners and stuff. I've never I'm like dying at this point, dude.
That's awesome.
So
That's
you-
amazing.
You guys graduated together and like hugged it out
Yeah.
and whatnot.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And
Totally.
he sounds like he was as good of a guy then as he is now. Like he's just a class act.
Yeah,
And
he
he's a pretty good
totally
golfer.
was. This is going to be a very strange conversation in a certain way because it's very personal. But we were in a Civil War class together, like studying battle formations and like the Civil War, and
Larry Fitzgerald.
and I was kind of raised a little racist. I'll be honest with you, and
Self-aware man.
sorry.
I said a self-aware man.
No, I'm just being. I'm just being straight with you guys, and so, sorry, I have epilepsy, so I have like mini seizures. But anyway, and so he sat next to me, and this guy like poked and prodded me every single time the instructor like looked away, and he thought it was so funny that I just like argued for the South. And was like, oh, it was just the war of, like defending themselves. And dude, he thought it was hilarious. And he called me Reb. His nickname was Reb, and I called him Fitz. And essentially, he, as a black gentleman, he was like, hey, you want to go have mess together? And mess is in the military. It's
Yeah.
dinner and stuff.
Yeah.
And so we hung out. And I had no idea. And I wrestled him.
Did you know that he played football then?
Yeah, but I'm not a football guy, so I don't have any idea. So he was a PG. He was a postgraduate, so he essentially failed out of high school. And he came to our school, and he had a full scholarship, and he just did his thing. He's kind of an outcast in a way, and so we really connected, and he kind of, this sounds really bad, but he kind of made me unracist.
It's not bad at all. Everybody
No,
needs that
I mean,
friend.
to Larry Fitzgerald being that, because he's such a good dude.
That's pretty wild to think about.
I never knew that Larry went to
I
VFMA.
I didn't either.
That's pretty awesome, actually.
That he's like right around the corner from you.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's like 20, 25 minutes away.
Yeah.
But I just knew him from University of Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
This guy knows Larry Fitzgerald.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Larry comes off as this.
Like
Larry comes
casual,
off
like, that's
on
what it
TV
is.
as like just this. What is he on ESPN now? He's a commentator on like the Monday Night Football or
Oh,
pregame show or something.
Has he been? I don't know. I haven't seen that.
Him. How's this for a little bit racist? He's on that show with RG3, and I don't know which is which. How's that for a little bit? I'm just playing.
I feel so strange, like being so like open to you guys and like being transparent. But in a way, like he was such a great guy, and he poked and prodded me physically. he thought it was hilarious.
I don't know how to take that.
He's a good dude.
He sat right next to me. And he was just like, "You stupid white dude."
White dude. Can I tell you how many times I've been called "you stupid white dude"?
No, I just thought that was such an awesome. Thank you, Jeff, for sharing that story.
It's
with
crazy. Y'all still talk today, Jeff?
I'm sorry. Say again.
Do y'all still communicate?
No, we don't. I contacted his agent today, and I was gonna actually like bring him in to this call.
Oh, nice.
And so I think it would be next week.
He's got his agent's phone number though.
No, I have his agent. His agent's in LA, so I was. I'd be like, yo, it's Reb, and come join my call for 20 minutes. And I've never done anything like this, like a podcast before.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd just be like, hey, come join and say hi. And
yeah, I mean, that'd be dope.
He probably would say that. He would probably.
We wouldn't talk. We wouldn't do anything else on the entire show but pick his brains.
I mean,
I know, right? Can you imagine?
A bunch of fanboys.
Hall of Fame, Super Bowl, yeah.
So honestly, y'all, I talked to him about golf. So I'd let y'all go first.
Of course you would.
I'm sorry, say again?
I talked to him about golf, and I'd let y'all talk about the rest.
He's is our golf guru.
And Larry Fitzgerald's an avid golfer.
Oh, yeah. I see. I didn't know that.
You're avid golfer. So
yeah, Jeff, that would be awesome. See if you get because I've always he was an inspiration for me when I was finishing up college. He was finishing up college at the same time for the same reason that he promised his mom.
Yeah,
so I always thought that was a really cool story. So he's a good dude. He's a good dude.
That's pretty awesome, man.
A happy story for the week.
Yeah, awesome, Jeff. Well,
that's pretty awesome.
We appreciate you joining us, man, and stay in contact and let us know if we can have you on again.
Okay, well, thank you for accepting the fact that I'm transparent and.
Dude, we all are here. And we're all transparent here, Jeff.
And
we're all transparent here.
And he signed my yearbook, and he gave me a big hug at graduation. And
that's so cool.
He's such a good guy. And I had no idea he was gonna go on to become this legend.
This guy.
Yeah.
If you did, you would have stayed in contact all of these years.
Yeah.
No, I mean he seems like a genuinely good dude. I mean, and so I do.
Yeah, he was always great. But you know what? A funny story, just real quick. Yeah. Is that in PE class, like we were both wrestling together, and I mean, dude, the guy's huge. You guys know that he's like 6'4" or whatever.
Yeah,
he's a big guy. Yeah,
he's a big guy.
And he was our teacher, our wrestling coach was like, hey, his name is Colonel LaRusso, and he was like, hey, anybody want to wrestle? And I was like, sure. And he threw me around like a rag.
Well, I mean,
sure, dude.
He had all the leverage.
And that's why you never wrestled again.
Yeah, exactly.
That's 100% correct. Yeah.
No Olympics in your future, Jeff. I get it.
No, sir.
Yeah, maybe Larry will go into WWE appearances for pay-per-views. We'll see.
Might do it.
That would be actually funny. All right, so Jeff, keep us posted, man, and we appreciate you stopping by.
All right, thank you guys. Thank you for having me.
Man. Jeff. Absolutely, thanks, and thanks, Lauren. That was good. All right, so y'all take it from here. What do y'all want to talk about?
Let's talk about
injuries.
Standings. I think the standings are so interesting in the AFC. Like nobody's really I feel like pulling out. I guess the Ravens, but the standings in general, I was looking at them. I mean, I know that guys.
So Lauren's right. So the AFC is really, really tight. You have two teams that are 9-3. You have two teams that are 8-4.
First place who?
Miami is right now. Miami has the number 1 seed. I think they in Baltimore. I think Baltimore and Miami, who are both 9-3, play in a couple weeks. I think that game is in Baltimore. That's
Jeff, if you need to come up, you can stay here. We're right down the street from the stadium.
Jeff texted the group chat last night that it's the first time he's ever went to sleep that he can remember. He can't remember the last time he went to sleep and the Dolphins were in first place.
Yeah, right.
I don't remember. Maybe the Brady hurt year, the Brady injury year, maybe, but I don't remember those.
No,
I don't remember.
Did you guys have? I thought it was the Jets that year. That was like
that was
2008. That was 2008.
We won the division. We went to Baltimore in the wild card and laid a fucking egg with Chad Pennington, and hadn't been back since.
I forgot about that guy.
I mean, so the AFC East is the Dolphins and the Bills, right? That's pretty much.
The Bills are.
It's not even the Bills. The Bills.
It's not even the Bills.
Are 3 games back.
Yeah, it's not even close. It's like
you've got Miami and Baltimore are 9-3. You've got Jacksonville and Kansas City are both 8-4, and then you have 4 teams that are 7-5. Only 2, like those are your wild card teams. Can you name them? Who are the 4 teams that are 7-5?
If Tua doesn't get hurt, Josh Allen doesn't make the playoffs this year.
Right.
Oh, absolutely.
But, so the
since we never talk shit about Josh Allen like we talk about Dak and other quarterbacks, if the Buffalo Bills don't make the playoffs this year, then we put Josh Allen on the air list, or is he still good?
I don't know. The thing is, I think that's like fault. Maybe it's like exactly like
most turnovers in football.
I'm not getting rid of Josh Allen and going after like picking up Baker Mayfield or something like that. But I shouldn't say that. Baker looks good.
So for having Josh Allen and talking about turnovers is like having Caleb Love in 2022 and talk about mystery. You just take them, bro. You just pull the trigger. Pull the trigger.
But Josh Allen's turnovers sometimes are more often than not game-ending, drive-killing.
Yeah, but he's still like a good quarterback. It's like if you he is or something. Like he's got the yips or something.
Josh Allen may never be. He may not. He may never be a quarterback that wins you a Super Bowl, but he will be a quarterback that will win you fantasy championships. So if we're talking about fantasy, I'm taking Josh Allen, especially in the Superflex top 3 every single year. If we're talking about winning championships, I don't know. We have enough data at this point of him leading great teams of just dying in the playoffs every year.
Yeah, he's not that guy.
Dak is MVP candidate this year.
Coming
Josh
from somebody
is golf.
Coming from somebody who's living in Philly, Dak is real this year, and the Cowboys are actually pretty scary.
Yeah, we'll see how that continues. I mean, look, they'll get to the playoffs and they'll lose to Seattle or whoever the fuck is in the last.
We're freestyling it right now. Let's just go and get to it. We haven't had our resident Philly guy here with us in a moment to talk some Philly shit. So Philly, Dallas this week. Let's just jump right into it. Like it,
man.
Philly Niners. Yeah, I was.
What it is the game of the week. Philly, Dallas. Ian, you got it. Tell us what's going on.
I also want to hear what your thoughts on the Eagles 49ers game.
So the Eagles 49ers game did not surprise me at all. Did not surprise me for a couple of reasons. One, Jalen Hurts is clearly hurt. Jalen Hurts is not willing or able to be as mobile as he was last year. And the Eagles offense is hurting because of it, because nobody is respecting Jalen Hurts running. So they're just putting spies out, and A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith, they're studs. So they're still going to get their catches. But that offense is not scaring people like it was last year. And even more importantly, that defense is not the same defense that it was last year. They just had to sign Shaq Leonard.
So can I
somebody play?
I saw a stat yesterday that Jalen Hurts has 35 rushing touchdowns the last 3 years. That's more than Saquon. That's more than I think any
He
other.
doesn't have more
That's
than Saquon.
including Saquon's year off.
He doesn't have more than Saquon.
Right.
Well, I'm just
Saquon
like
missed-
35 is a big number,
Yeah,
For a
but Saquon
quarterback,
had a
yeah.
whole year,
Right.
lost a whole year,
Yeah.
and Saquon loses a lot
But
of
he
time.
can't
and he's
do
got
that.
12, and he's got 12 this year.
Well, depending on we're speaking real or fantasy, and I just jumped in to make sure.
Yeah, again, same thing with
The
Josh
Philly-
Allen.
the Eagles defense is bottom 3 in
They are
fantasy
terrible.
level
Pass defense.
They're terrible.
You
So
can't run
another
it.
stat:
They're
Eagles
Overall, they're terrible.
are last in the NFL offensively on third down conversion percentage. That is a mind-blowing stat.
mind-boggling.
Well,
So
what's
that's
their
why
what's their third down? What's their average third down to go though?
it greater than 2, because if it's 1 yard, they're just tush
They're
pushing.
just tush pushing.
Right.
So
They
the
should
problem,
do it at 2.
Yeah. So the offense is not the same. The defense is it's just not the same team. So that's why beating the Bills was a little bit surprising. Beating the Chiefs was a little bit surprising. But the Eagles have been living dangerously. You know, they're winning these close games and pulling it out at the end, and they finally got bitch slapped because they went up against. What this does is
Are the 49ers that good?
yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's because
Yeah,
at this
the
point, they're
40
Super Bowl champs. They're
So-
going to the Super Bowl. They're winning the Super Bowl. Because
So
like,
what-
if Brock Purdy legit, because he's going, they're putting him for MVP.
Well, you know
So-
the thing going around about Brock, right? Is yes, the MVP. However, he also hasn't lost a game with everybody, with Debo, with Trent Williams, with
Well, that could go
with
for anyone.
Brandon Ayuk.
Let me
No,
just
it
jump
cannot.
with that.
No, it cannot.
Just Clint just said. Non-Debo 49ers
Right, are not good.
are just like everybody else.
Right.
The Debo Samuel healthy 49ers
Yeah.
are about 2 inches better than everybody else in the NFL.
Yeah.
If their
Here's what
defense plays just the average way that they play,
I mean, it's insane.
gonna win the
Ayuk, Debo, Kittle, Christian McCaffrey. Like, I
CMC.
don't know why anyone,
Come on,
I don't know why we're
Jennings.
saying anything other than the 49ers win the Super Bowl.
So
I
here's
don't-
what last Sunday's game did for the entire NFL. Right now, the Eagles are still the number 1 seed in the NFC. If they win out, home field goes through Philly. Do you think San Francisco is scared of Philly having the 1
Not
seed?
at all.
No.
They just came in and whooped Philly's ass,
Yeah,
and they
they're
say,
not scared at all.
run it back. We'll do it again.
Run
We'll-
it back.
We'll do the same exact thing again. And it gave a blueprint to every other team. So now Dallas is not scared of Philly. Now, who else is? I don't know who else.
Well,
is
hold on. Look. I am usually a Dallas hater, right? Just because I'm not a
Always
Jerry
Dallas.
Jones fan.
Always
Dak is
We
playing
hate
really
Dallas.
well.
Very
CeeDee Lamb is playing really well.
out of his
Tony
mind.
Pollard is finally playing to almost what we thought Tony Pollard was going to be at the beginning of the year. But
Last
let's
He's
not
really
call
not.
them.
He's
Let's
really
not.
not.
Let's not
He's
crown
really
them the offensive champs
He's
over
really not. Yeah,
San
he's really
Francisco,
not.
though, because
you-
they don't have
Can I jump in with
near
some-
the weapons.
Can I jump in with some Dak hate? Some
For
Cowboy
real,
hate
sure.
For a second. Some Cowboy hate. All right.
Sure,
so,
bring up the boys. Let's talk about the game
So
Sunday night.
let's talk about the boys for a second. The fans love the boys. We'll talk about we them boys for a second. Now, outside of the Geno Smith-led Seahawks,
Mhm.
who did start their backup running back on a running team, who the hell have the Cowboys beat?
They beat
And I say this-
nobody.
And
They
I
have
say
beaten.
this as a Miami fan, who we have beaten nobody. We are really fraudulent number 1 seeds, but I'll take it because I've been doing this for a long time and I want us to be number 1. I just want to die as a 1 seed, make an AFC Championship game or something.
I know
But
you do.
go back to the Cowboys, they're fraudulent because
The
I
Cowboys-
put in our group chat the other day. When the seasons turn, the Cowboys gonna do Cowboys.
The Cowboys are playing
already-
very, very well right now. Here's the problem with the Cowboys: is teams like Philadelphia has already played most of their very tough games. The Eagles have 2 left. Dallas, in the last 6 games of the season, has to play Philly, has to play Miami, has to play Detroit, has to play Buffalo. So Dallas still needs to run their gauntlet. That's why the Eagles will probably win the East, because the Eagles' last 3 games are Giants, Cardinals, Giants.
So Ferg, Dallas comes to Miami.
Oh, Christmas Eve.
Say what?
Christmas Eve.
Christmas
Dallas
Eve.
to Miami.
Christmas Eve in Miami, yeah.
Wow. I know y'all have 4 of the last 5 games at home. Okay, so I am assuming, and I haven't looked, so I guess it's Philly, Dallas, Sunday night.
Philly at Dallas, yeah.
Philly at Dallas, Sunday night. Interesting. What's the spread on that game?
They haven't beaten anybody.
What's the spread on the game?
I don't know. I would have to guess Dallas, like 4.5 would be my guess.
Dallas, really?
They're home, and the Eagles.
I was on that a push 2.5. 2.5 is really a push.
Yeah, I don't have a spread.
All right, so let's play right now.
It's 3.5, 51.5 point over under, y'all. That's all
Dallas's
the
next
points.
4 games are after playing Seattle last week. Dallas's next 4 games are Eagles home, at Buffalo, at Miami, home Detroit, at Washington. That is not an easy schedule.
They're going to lose 2 of those.
They could easily go 1-4.
Yeah.
And they could.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going to happen, but they could. They could go 1-4.
It's
who has a harder schedule this year, the Eagles or Dallas? Because I thought the Eagles had an easier.
The Eagles did because they won. The Eagles did because they won the NFC East last year. So the Eagles had to play the Chiefs, whereas Dallas played, I think, LA.
Let's address this falsity and lie right here, and let's just do this in the minority report. We haven't played yet. But let it not be saying that we are comment Nazis. We show all comments.
Okay, so here's the thing I want to tell you guys, and I think I said this to y'all last week. So it's a 51.5 point over under with the Cowboys at home, and the Cowboys average 40 points a game at home.
What's the spread? What'd you say? Like 7.5?
No, it's 3.5 with the 51.5 point over under. And last week it was a 47 point over under, and I was like, anybody who bets, what's up, Kamish? Anybody who bets needs to put money on the over. Easy. So put money on the over on the Cowboys game if you got it.
And I don't know it. How many points do the Cowboys average? Oh, the Cowboys are home, though.
The Cowboys average 40 points a game.
How many points are the Eagles averaging on the road?
I have no idea. Ian,
Vegas doesn't really do dumb shit.
They don't, but they missed last week.
There's something to that.
No, they missed last week. They missed last week by a lot.
I mean, I can.
Let me ask you another question. I was headed another way, and we kind of went down the Philly highway. I was going to bring
Philly
it back
highway?
to some of our sleeper guys. This week, or going forward, from like this week on, you have Dak, you have Jalen. Who are you starting on your fantasy team? You can only start one.
Dak has a better schedule.
Dak
has better schedule for passing.
Dak is playing better.
Dak
on a team. Dak is playing games where he's playing quality opponents, which makes it more likely that he's going to have to put up more points. Whereas the Eagles are playing Dallas this week, and then Seattle, and then, like I said, finishing up against the Giants, Cardinals, Giants, which could all be whitewashes. Jalen might not even play in the second half.
You're gonna need titanium. You're gonna need titanium underwear in order to make that call.
I wanted to hear y'all say that.
Yeah,
I would.
Knowing who you drafted and how we draft.
So here's what I would say.
You're gonna start Dak, or you're gonna start Mahomes.
For this is what I would say. I would say if you need a win. Like if you need a win and the big play numbers, start Dak. If you don't need a win and you're just staying consistent, start Jalen. Just because you don't need a dub, maybe.
I'm telling you, Jalen Hurts gets a lot of his fantasy points with his legs, and Jalen Hurts is just not right with his legs. He will get you a push tush.
It's hard to run off Philly,
but he's got a bum ankle or something's going on there, and he is not that mobile. I would argue the opposite, Clint. I would say if you need to really shoot the ceiling, like you need a huge game from your quarterback, I would then take Jalen. But if you just really need to play that safe 19 to 24 point floor ceiling and you're comfortable there,
I don't know, man.
I would go Dak.
Dak's been 30, 40 points, man.
Yeah.
Like Dak's been 25.
I mean, they haven't played Philly though. I mean, they haven't played
Philly can't stop the pass, bro.
Philly can't stop.
Philly's hard to run on. No, Philly's hard to run on in the middle.
Until you have given up over 160 yards rushing the last 3 games.
Right, it's because they can't stop the pass.
And
so they open up the pass.
You've been silent. You show up You show up late. I mean, I understand what you did, salt and pepper, like just left the barbershop chair and shit. So go ahead and tell us. Philly, Dallas. Tell us what's gonna happen.
Oh man, I have no idea. I have zero idea. I know it'll be a close game. It seems like the last 4 or 5 times they played, it's been like a play here, play there. So it's just going to come down to who's going to execute. It really is. What's the line? Is it like
it's 3.5 Dallas?
3.5.
Oh, 3.5 with 51.5.
It's at Dallas.
It's at
I
Dallas.
said it's down to 3. That's down to 3 by Sunday.
Yeah. I got a feeling that
as a Giants fan,
Cowboys will win. I feel like the Cowboys will win that game, but I mean, it'll be one of those things in the fourth quarter.
As a Giants fan, you hope for a tie. You hope for a tie and and maybe a.
No, I don't hate Dallas. They've never beaten us when we were good. Like I don't have like a memory of like some really terrible loss to either one of those teams.
Miracle of the Meadowlands, Part 2.
I love that.
Yeah.
It wasn't for
Deshaun Jackson.
Deshaun Jackson.
Yeah. Is that one?
No.
Deshaun Jackson retired this week, you guys.
It wasn't. It's not a playoff game. I don't remember. I mean, the soul crushing games for us are the 49ers. I mean, that growing up, we lost tough games to them,
to the
Bears.
Yeah, losing to the Packers in 2008. You just won the Super Bowl in 2007. You beat the greatest team ever in the Patriots, and you lost to the. Didn't you lose to like Vic or something?
The Giants go back to back, and Plaxico doesn't shoot himself in the leg.
Literally.
We were the best team. We were the best team in
literally.
Good old Cheddar Bob.
Yeah. We're like 12. We're like 12-1 or something. I mean, they
where the hell is Plaxico at these days?
He works for Fox Sports.
Oh, does he? Good for him.
He does a radio show with LeVar Arrington and TJ Houshmandzadeh.
LeVar. TJ Houshmandzadeh. There's a name. Cincinnati guy.
Radio? Wow, I didn't know that.
That's the most Houshmandzadeh is the most T. Higgins player I can remember. I love that dude.
That's a nice analogy, Clint.
I love that dude. All right, he was a beast. All right, so let's talk about some injuries real quick because we did need to talk about that because we need to talk about some fantasy and stuff because we have like 20 minutes left. Ian, you wanna run off the injuries? Let's start with Tank Dell.
Tank Dell broke his tibia, his fibula, something in his foot.
You guys see
surgery on his ankle.
Yeah, that's
blocking in the middle.
The one time that Dameon Pierce took his pass in the end zone, they put Tank Dell in front of him to like push. I was like, "Are you serious with this?" That was awful.
Yeah.
Oh, Meryl, do you want to address this real quick? Like, do you have anything to say about this?
Oh no,
or you're like
y'all talking about injuries? I'm sorry.
No. Like the comment on the screen.
Oh, the Giants would never be better than them boys.
Well, as you said,
have Eli beaten GOAT twice and 2 other Super Bowls, and probably the best player in the history of the game, Lawrence Taylor. Get out of here.
Ball don't lie.
Go read a book.
Ball don't lie.
Go read a book. Go read a record book and get your history. Yeah. Go back a little further in 2008.
Dude, if I wasn't like 500 miles from you right now, I would give you a high five and buy you a beer. Done. That was awesome. Yeah, Tank Dell on a play where Houston is trying to do their version of the brotherly shove, there is no reason for a running back trying to, grate the road for Dameon Pierce, who I don't really like anyway. That's an injury that should have never happened. On the positive side, it helped Lauren defeat me this past week because Nico Collins went for 736 points.
Holy crap.
That was nice.
We had 174.
Let's talk about how Lauren
he had like 34 points.
Second round draft pick next year in that Dameon Pierce bullshit ass trade.
You know what? Can we talk about the Texans though?
All year. He was ass.
Yeah, let's talk about the Texans here just for a second.
They're one of them 7-5 teams.
They are 7-5, and they were a team that was the second worst team in the league last year. Yeah. We need to give some respect to CJ Stroud. We've done that. But I really think we need to give mad recognition to DeMeco Ryans.
DeMeco's a man, bro.
DeMeco Ryans has done an amazing job. He's,
Yeah.
I mean, a defensive mind. Obviously,
Yeah.
that defense is playing good. That offense, nobody
The
saw
defense
this
is
coming.
amazing,
Devin
yeah.
Singletary is resurrected.
Bobby Slowick said he saw it
Yeah.
coming.
I mean, I think the Texans need to be recognized. I think there's little doubt that they're going to make it into the playoffs. They're 7-5.
Need some things to happen.
They're
Need
in
some
right
things to happen, though, bro.
They're in right now. They win.
I know,
out,
but they
they're
need
in.
some things. They need some things to shake out in the right way because it's.
I see this trap.
If you're
I
in right
want them
now, all you
to.
need to do is win. You take
Right,
care of your
exactly.
business, you're in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What do you say,
That's
first?
I'm just saying CJ Stroud. I mean, we talked about it a couple of weeks ago, the video where basically David Tepper and them just they anointed this dude that they were going to draft him.
They made the wrong choice.
Bryce Young and now Hale. I feel sorry for Panther fans who have to deal with this shit, but I mean, fuck it.
Yeah, no, it's pretty bad. All right, so since we're talking about the Texans, let's go up the road in their division or over the road this way. You got Trevor Lawrence, who's injured and apparently not playing this week.
High ankle sprain. There was a real stink. And Christian Kirk has a core injury. He's having surgery. He's done for the season.
He's gonna have surgery.
Yeah, he's having surgery.
Washington season.
Yeah. So there was a huge stink in the media with Trevor Lawrence about how he had to walk into the locker room, and they were saying that there wasn't even a cart available in Jacksonville. But it turns out there was a cart, and he just kind of refused it. He didn't want to be part. He didn't want to be. I mean, everybody and their grandfather was sure that his ankle was broken or his leg was broken. He's got a high ankle sprain, but apparently it's not that bad because Kenny Pickett in Pittsburgh also had a high ankle sprain this past week, and he just had surgery. So Kenny Pickett is done. Fire up Mitch Trubisky. Which, by the way, Pittsburgh is also 7-5, which makes Houston's road a little bit easier.
That's also true. I will agree with you.
See, I'm not sold that Kenny Pickett's better than Mitch. Like, I don't
think anybody is.
Kenny Pickett's not better than you are.
It's 6-1.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know that it like makes it easier because I don't think that Kenny. I mean, they're just the same person.
Kenny Pickett is ass, but TJ Watt.
Yeah.
When it goes down and out, TJ Watt, Alex Highsmith.
I mean, their defense is legit.
They are 85 Bears level worthy. Those 2 or 3 guys. They're that kind of good. They're
those dogs.
Kenny Pickett was only the only quarterback drafted in the first round. Was it two years ago? Yeah. And what that speaks of is how bad that quarterback draft was. Pittsburgh would have been better off just running it back with Josh Dobbs for another year and drafting some stud. But they wanted to get they did what Carolina did. Is they said we need a quarterback, we need a face of our franchise.
This is it.
Whether or not, now listen, Carolina had other options. I get it. They picked the wrong quarterback. I get it. But Pittsburgh didn't have any other options. It was Kenny Pickett.
He's also a hometown kid, though.
Yeah,
they shouldn't have picked him. He's not a first-round pick.
You're right, Troy.
Kenny Pickett is an awesome career backup.
Yeah, he's a great backup. I will agree with you. So let's mention a couple of more, just like run through a little bit. And if you have something to add, Ian, go ahead. We got Vermondre that's hurt. He's probably out for the year. He's out for the fantasy year. He's out for the fantasy year for sure.
Fire up Zeke.
Nobody knows what's going on with Austin Eckler and what's happening with his season. And he's killed some fantasy seasons for sure. Because he was drafted in the top 3-4 picks, probably maybe 5 if you're reaching. But yeah, so I mean, we have those injuries, and that can actually lead us into fantasy. I think we're past the last Bye-Mageddon, right? I mean, we have
there's 2 buys this week. We have Arizona and
Washington.
Yeah, so that's not
Washington. You're probably good though.
Yeah, I mean. It's the last. Well, we got 2 more weeks before the Hoofnagel playoffs are set. We got the text message last night from the commish about the rundown, and it's Kiasha's pretty much got it in hand as far as the regular season champ. So congrats, K Solo. Proud of you. Glad you won it.
She would have to lose and only score like 5 points or something.
Yeah, and Kiasha, we need a picture of you in the chain. We definitely need a picture.
Lauren, who's in first place in any given Sunday, Lauren?
Any given Sunday?
Lauren is.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't gonna let them.
Here's a really interesting stat.
Beat Merrill last week.
In any given Sunday.
I haven't lost in a couple of weeks.
I'm in second place in the show league because I'm playing King Ole this week because we've been having a private conversation. He said they're saving the best for last, so our match is this week.
So
we've been talking.
In any given Sunday, I am the only team in the league that has scored more than 2,100 points. I'm also the only team in the league that has given up more than 1,900 points. I've scored the most and given up the most.
Yeah,
Lauren,
that's me and Hoopnagel. That is me and Hoopnagel.
It sure
Lauren,
is.
I am winning your family league this year.
We want to win all this.
Yeah,
all right, so let's talk about some fantasy. Let's talk about some fantasy and what you guys are thinking for this week, because we have the potential MVP candidate in Mr. Brock Purdy doing his thing, and like dude is automatic with 303 a week. It just seems to be automatic these days.
Can we talk about what is this obsession with trying to make him the goddamn MVP?
I know. I get it.
Can I ask you a question?
Because it's a cool story.
It's like a heartwarming. Like the guy, he's like probably
he's the last pick in the draft.
Yeah, and
I have the answer to a
he's
question.
like
it's not that it's
kind of the Nick Foles story, but not. But I think it's just the story because like people hear that and they're like, "Oh, that's really awesome." He's like the backup that came out, and it's like it's Hallmark. It's very Hallmark.
What needs to happen?
I know, but
very well said. Very well said.
Is that the MVP award needs to be renamed to like the Dan Marino or Tom Brady award, and it just needs to become the cycle. Because if you are a quarterback, no matter what you do, if you put up the flashiest looking quarterback numbers on the best team, you are automatically the MVP. There is no fucking way in the history
that Tyreek doesn't win it.
In all of whiteness, blackness, Asianness, Latinx, whatever, that Tyreek Hill is in a better player as of right now than Brock Purdy.
You're absolutely correct.
There's at least a minimum of 5 defensive dudes right now
Myles Garrett, TJ Watt.
Yeah, but a defensive dude will never win it. A defensive player will never win it. Michael Strahan couldn't win it the year that he broke the single season sack record and wasn't even in like the top 5. There's no way.
You know what? I got in an argument today with somebody about playing defense. And if you haven't Googled it lately, I just want the people that actually really watch football to Google the season that Khalil Mack is having right now and stop talking about fucking Michael Parsons and Aaron Donald and Myles Garrett and all these cats. And I just want you to just Google Khalil Mack's numbers right now.
Jeff, the fact that nobody knows him, Jeff.
They don't translate to wins. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't translate to ratings. And the fact that people would have to Google Khalil Mack to see that he's that good is the reason why he will never win.
That's the ESPN narrative. It has told us that Michael Parsons is the best defensive player in football.
No, TJ Watt's the best defensive player in football. Myles Garrett maybe too.
Myles Garrett.
Yeah, because you have to win. If you're a defensive player known for giving up wins every week, you can have 80
I agree,
sacks.
man. You got to win.
Why can't it be the alternate narrative that this motherfucking team is so shitty that if I wasn't here playing defense, you wouldn't have the 6-7 wins that you do have?
But it won't be.
It'll never happen.
That's more. I mean, this is the exact same squad.
Hey, we did have a fantasy question earlier. Can you bring that back up?
I didn't see that.
It was Brittany's comment.
Brittany needed a quarterback.
She needed a quarterback, and so we need to.
Nick answered the question for us.
What did he say?
Gino, Jordan, Jake, Justin, 3 J's, or Baker. Who do you go with?
Fields.
My
Fields.
money is Justin Fields versus.
I don't know. Jordan Love has been so good.
Jordan
Yeah,
Love is
but
playing.
Fields has
Jordan
got
Love
a
is
really good
playing the
game.
New York
His
Giants
game's
Monday
good.
They're playing
night
the
in
Giants.
New York. So I
Right.
like that. Geno
Fields is at
Smith, I
home.
like. I do not like Geno in San Francisco.
I don't like Geno and
Hell
San
no.
Fran either.
No,
Hell no.
Fields is at home against the Lions. Like that's a good game script. I'm
Right,
actually
but
Fields
also
Are they
Jake-
home or are
so-
they in Detroit?
Browning has been
It's home.
has been actually pretty decent.
It is home.
He was
Yeah,
a great
really
college quarterback. Dude could
Yeah,
toss the ball
really
around.
Yeah,
and
but
they're
that's
playing the
like-
Colts. They're
I'm
playing
not
the Colts.
hinging my
last
fantasy
year's
playoff
time,
on
man.
Browning.
No, not gonna like if
I
you
don't-
need
I
if
wouldn't-
you need a dub, you
I'm
probably
starting
go with
Justin
Justin
Fields here.
Depending
I
on the
would
league
go
you
with
played in,
backup.
I'm just looking at these 5 names. You took Justin Fields first. Don't get
Don't
cute
get cute.
here on
Don't get
Thursday
cute.
14. Don't get cute.
Unless
doesn't
you have
matter.
Dak
Hey.
on your lineup, you're starting Justin here.
But I
that
had
doesn't
this
matter.
same argument with someone online earlier.
Brittany,
They
I
said
had
Justin Fields
CJ
or
versus
Jared Goff.
put Justin in.
And my argument was that if you need him, and I need this, the best possible chance for something crazy to happen
Justin
is that
Fields.
I could get Justin Fields
Right.
for 200 passing and a passing touchdown, and then 100 yards rushing,
Or
and
six.
Detroit-
two rushing
Detroit will push
touchdowns.
too. Detroit's going to
That-
push
that's
that
your
score. Like you
ceiling
got
with
shootout
Justin
You got
potential.
30. You got
Detroit's going
30.
to push that score up, so you're going to have the shootout potential. He's not going to want to lose at home. Only thing is, I would just make sure like the weather's not. I mean, I
Doesn't matter.
they're playing
I
Chicago,
mean,
but
it's,
it's that
it's
time of year.
Chicago in December, so it's
Yeah,
going to be
it's-
cold. It's going to be windy.
I govern
Let's
all
see.
my fantasy.
But then he can
teams
run too, so it doesn't matter. So yeah.
I think that I'm the
39.
smartest person
Yeah,
in the
but they're
universe.
also playing an indoor team, and that's Detroit. That Jared Goff does not play well outdoors, and indoor teams
All right.
Monday night.
traditionally
So-
don't play well in cold weather.
All right, so we also have this, right? So we have the 43.5 point over under. Detroit is favored by 3.5. It's going to be 39 and cloudy.
It's not bad weather.
At game time,
It's
right?
not
Chicago
bad
by
weather.
3.
That's
You know
not.
what?
It's
I would
not bad
think-
weather.
I
see
would
the
think
Bears are
that
gonna
this
win
week,
that.
this week, I think if the seasons went differently, Eagles Cowboys is a great game this week. Buffalo at Kansas City should have been the game of
Should
the
have.
week. Should have been the game of.
It's a 1.5 point
yeah.
spread for KC.
Yeah,
And
this
I
is the one that Buffalo. If you
48.5 point over under.
Yeah, I mean, if you're teetering on the playoffs this week, this is the week that you start all of your Bills because they
Mhm.
either go into Kansas City and win this game and put up 60, or their season is over and they just don't care anymore.
Mhm.
I have Diggs, and I need Diggs to do shit over the last 4 weeks. If they lose this game, I don't have Diggs for the playoffs because he's not going to give a shit, and nobody else is.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
the week that you start your Josh Allens, you start your Gabe Davises, you get James Cook, you start all of your Bills.
Khalil Shakir.
Khalil Shakir, you get them all in there because they're going balls to the wall where they know their season's over.
Yeah.
Merrill, you're on mute, bro.
Meryl, you're on mute.
Kansas City really needs to win this game. This is
Oh,
probably
they
one of
really
the
do.
biggest games in Mahomes' career. He's never played a road playoff game ever, and
Never.
he's probably going to for the first time this year. But if
They're
they
good.
lose this week, I mean they're pretty much just guaranteed to like not have the Kansas City Invitational.
Well,
I
here's the
blame-
thing
I blame
with-
Taylor
with,
Swift.
with Kansas City.
They're done.
The only teams that are ahead of Kansas City in the AFC standings are
Miami.
Baltimore's. Miami
Baltimore,
and
Miami.
Jacksonville, they're tied with Baltimore. I don't know if they play Baltimore this year or not, but
No,
they have
Jacksonville's 8-4.
right. So
Miami's
they're
right,
9-3.
they're,
He said
they're-
ahead of them.
they're right
Oh,
there
okay.
with them.
Okay.
Kansas City does have a game in hand over Jacksonville. Kansas City does have a game in hand
They do.
over Miami, so they have those tiebreakers if need be.
I don't think they play Baltimore.
I don't think they play Baltimore.
They
this
have to
year.
win out though.
Go to
The
Baltimore,
headline is they have to win out if they
They
want to
have
have any
both
shot.
of them.
Yeah.
Both the Bills
Get the
and
number
the
one
Chiefs
shot.
have to win out. So this is
But
your
that's
game
what Meryl's
to
talking about.
start everybody.
I mean,
Yeah.
they're
Kansas
Kansas
City.
City's going to make the playoffs, but
Oh, yeah.
you know, having a home field advantage is their big deal. Like I mean,
Yeah,
playing
but-
at Arrowhead is not easy for all
People
intents and
aren't
purposes.
scared of Kansas City like they
Mhm.
were over the last
No,
4 years.
why would you
But
be
what's
though?
the
It's like-
difference though? What's the difference
Tyreek
between
Hill.
this year and last year?
I never
No,
got to
Tyreek
ask
wasn't
them,
there
like,
last year.
I
He
never
wasn't
got to
there last
compare
year.
my
Why
question
are
earlier
they
because
worse?
Yeah.
first of all, if you're a defensive coordinator, you're scheming Kansas City because for some crazy reason, we have disrespected Tyreek Hill, at least last year, where they thought we need to play the same cover 2 shell because we got a guard for Marquez, Valdez, Scantling, and these other cats going down the field.
Right.
Kansas City deep game died as soon as goddamn Tyreek signed with them Miami.
Well, and Kadarius Toney was supposed to be that.
Kadarius Toney
has never done anything. I was going to ask Ian earlier, like the quote always says, if the tree falls in the forest, does it make a sound? Did Kansas City ever have a deep game if Tyreek wasn't there? Or is Tyreek the deep game?
Harold brought up a really good point. Like, I don't know. I actually don't like. I'm
was he the deep game?
Had last year, it's like.
And what we've said, we've put in our heads that Patrick Mahomes is this dude who flings it all over the field like that Brett Favre and throws the ball 40, 50 yards at least 10, 11 times a game. When that's not the case. He did that with Tyreek, but really, he's a dink and dunk dude.
He's 16 to 25 points fantasy.
Patrick Mahomes is a great quarterback. Let's not.
You're on mute, Merrill.
Merrill, you're on mute, bud.
I'll just say, and Travis Kelce, he's hit the wall.
Travis Kelce is hitting the wall too. He's not there yet, but he's getting there. You're going to see Hawkins.
Taylor Swift's new hit single, hitting the wall. Is that what we're going?
They are, yeah. I think Patrick Mahomes is a great quarterback. He is an elite fantasy quarterback, which is sometimes difficult for us to separate what is fantasy and what is real. But I think Patrick Mahomes is an elite ESPN quarterback. He's going to give you those behind the back passes and throw it under his legs and have a broken leg and run.
Sam Howell's an elite fantasy quarterback this year.
Listen, I mean, this year, who do you want? Mahomes or Sam Howell? I mean, I can argue that I want Sam Howell this year.
Scary to even say out loud.
We're talking fantasy.
No. You're not wrong. You know what I'm saying?
I wouldn't do it in a game I cared about. No.
No, me either. I mean, but no, in a game because you never know.
You started like week 2 or 3 when Patrick had his first bad game, and you had, or at least a bye week, and you went Howell since Patrick Mahomes bye week. You haven't been disappointed. Like, I'm not mad.
No.
Like we talked at length about a Patrick Mahomes trade that I had.
I was waiting.
Everybody said vetoed and got worked up about. Patrick Mahomes has scored 20 points since then.
I was waiting for trade to come back up.
Look, I'll take Sam Howell to start for my fantasy team any day, but if I have Patrick Mahomes and I need a win, I'm going Patrick Mahomes over Sam Howell. Like, I mean, I don't think.
But isn't this the same discussion that we had earlier?
Yes.
Jalen Hurts and Dak.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the same. It's two different players. It's two different situations. But I lived for a very long time, and Jeff has made this point a couple of times. Start your studs. You drafted this guy in the first round. You have to start him. I'm coming around to that's not always the way it needs to be. You know, I'm starting to see that I've got play. Listen, if Patrick Mahomes has not broken 20 points for 4 games, and Sam Howell hasn't gone under 24 points for 4 games.
Yeah, I agree with you. Last week, I started Justin Herbert over Jordan Love because of that rule, start your studs, and I was like, why did I do that?
Because I preach that. I preach start your studs.
I do in my head. I'm like, I can't bench Herbert for Love, but then it's like it made so much sense to bench him.
Sam Howell has been terrible the last 3 weeks. What are y'all talking about?
But he scored like 24 points last week.
Fantasy points, he's fine.
We're just talking fantasy.
Yeah, not like real football quarterback. All right.
He had 127 yards and an interception.
Did he have
rushing yards?
Rushing touchdown and stuff like that?
He ran for a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, he had 20 points. He had 20 points, I think, for me this week.
Which is better than Justin Herbert's 7 points.
Oh yeah, no, for sure.
He's thrown for like 0 touchdowns the last 2 weeks. He's had 5 interceptions, only 1. So I got to see his rushing numbers. These passing numbers are terrible.
Yeah, he's slinging the ball, but
it is a little bit skewed here. Lauren made a point here that Sam Howell.
We're not talking about if you have Mahomes and you have to argue about Jordan Love. No matter what you've seen, play Mahomes. But we're talking about if you've been watching football and you've seen what Nico Collins has done when he has played. and you know that Tank Dell is not playing. You have a more upside with like a Nico Collins over.
I've
Drake
started
London,
Nico all year.
Garrett
in every
Wilson.
league I
A
have.
lot of names that you drafted early. Go with the dude that has been doing it all year. That's what we're talking about. Now, I ain't not saying
Some people heat up like Nico's heat. Like there's some guys that heat up towards the end and they're league winners, and that's what you're looking at. Like Nico is there.
But Nico Collins as a league winner. Tank Dell would have been a league winner if you took Drake London in the 3rd or 4th round, or you've been running with Addison all year while Justin Jefferson is there. Now is not the time to be like, I'm going to play Addison just because when you just watch Nico Collins get 17 points. And
I would not play Addison. Nico.
All right, so y'all, this is what we're going to do. We're overtime already. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the Thursday night game, but next week we're going to let's do a fantasy because this is the last week before the playoffs start. So let's So let's talk about fantasy next week primarily. So anybody have any questions about fantasy football going into the playoffs? Stuff like that. We'll look at the waiver wires, all that kind of stuff. So get your fantasy questions ready. But let's talk about this ridiculously terrible Thursday night game.
A purple flush sound effect.
Like it is not good. So
I'm not even watching it.
It's New England and Pittsburgh. And Meryl, I'm sure you heard the stat, but you weren't on when we were talking about it. New England is the first team in NFL history to cover a spread scoring 0 points ever. Right.
That's
so
funny.
They were 6.5 point favorites last week, and they lost by 6. Right. Wow. So how crazy is that? So this is y'all ready for this? You're gonna love this. This is a 6 point. This is gonna be it's a 6 point favorite to Pittsburgh. 6 point favorite with a 30.5 over under.
Oh my
I won't
God.
be watching.
So I'd go the under. I'd go the
Oh.
under on this game, and I would go the way under. Like this might be a 3-0 or a 6-3 type situation. New England hasn't scored in double digits in 4 weeks. I don't see that changing against the Steelers.
They just quit.
Who's the starting
You know what?
Bailey Zappi.
Bailey
You know what, guys? You know what? I'm just gonna. Anybody who watching, if you're thinking about tomorrow night, what are you gonna do for Thursday night football? Bachelor in Paradise has its second to last episode for the season. You'll have much more entertainment watching that.
You know what? I'm gonna tell you right now. This game. Just because we're all shitting on it, the final score of this game is going to be like 31
37,
28.
31 or something like
Not a
that.
chance, bro.
Every game that we say is going to be 42-40 winds up being 17-14.
Dude, they don't have
like 31-28.
They don't have the firepower for that.
So Mac Jones
Two
comes in,
interceptions
goes
returned for
400.
touchdowns for each team.
I saw a good movie last night. I can
Some-
recommend for
something
people
will
instead of that game.
Look.
Something
I'll jump
Naiad.
on
Go watch,
this.
you guys can watch Naiad. It's on Netflix.
I'll jump on this train with
Naiad?
Lauren. I'll
It's
jump on
about
this.
Sorry.
No, I'll jump on this train with Lauren. Watch Hard Knocks, the in-season stuff with the Dolphins. It's great instead of watching the NFL game tomorrow because it's going to be terrible.
Listen, I
I
paid
want
for Amazon Prime. I'm watching that shit.
I want to convince myself that I want to talk
Ian,
to
here,
you.
answer your question because
I
it's
know that by like
Time
Thursday,
sports game.
by like 8:14, I would have turned the game on. No matter how bad it looks, I would have turned it on. It will be on.
I know, me too.
I'll be
No,
watching.
dude. Oh,
Y'all gonna watch it? Y'all
It's
know
me
you're
too.
gonna watch it.
no.
Look,
If
I'll
you-
be laying on my couch
can't.
because I feel like shit. I'll have no other choice but to watch
If
it.
you
So
watch
here-
Listen,
Conference
guys, viewers,
USA football on a Thursday night, you're gonna watch NFL on Thursday.
all right,
Watch the
so
movie Naiad. I was watching it. It's about the woman who swam from Cuba to Florida. It took she in her 60s.
Ain't no
Yeah.
tape on
It's
that.
much more entertaining
Ain't no
because
tape, I ain't seen
I
it.
learned
It
about
didn't happen.
jellyfish. I didn't know
You
jellyfish.
always tell us-
feels like
It's like the moon landing. It didn't really happen. I didn't.
no, it
You
did.
always
The thing that messed her up the most was jellyfish. Like every time that she got pulled
They
out of the
stink.
water, it was jellyfish.
They
all right,
The
what are you
box
saying?
jellyfish
You
or
always
something? I
tell
was
us,
like, oh,
Clint,
shit.
take your
Oh, yeah.
fantasy player.
Yeah.
Listen, this
Yeah.
week, just take them out of your lineup. Just
Yeah,
Take 'em out of your
exactly.
Don't even
What
flex
Ian
them.
just said right now.
Don't even flex them.
flush
Get them
it.
out of your
Well,
lineup.
no, I mean
You're gonna start
Jalen
Jalen
Warren,
Warren. Starting.
Najee
You're starting
Harris,
Warren, you're
Deontay
starting-
But
Johnson.
you did
Starting
say
Fryer.
earlier that Najee Harris was hurt, and I'm sitting there
Najee
like,
Harris is hurt. He's
I
got
didn't even know
a
that
higher,
Najee Harris was
Jalen
not
Warren.
going to play.
Who
I didn't-
I
who
didn't know
that.
did you start?
higher up Zeke.
Yeah,
Who
Demario
just
Douglas is
started?
hurt.
yeah, you wouldn't
I
start
don't know.
anybody on
I
you would
thought
start
that you
anybody
said
on the
fire up
Patriots.
Zeke.
I'd rather
Fire up
start
Zeke.
Kirk Herbstreit.
Like you don't
Okay.
start anybody
Ray
on
Rice.
the Patriots. Nobody on the Patriots
Devontae
unless you're
Parker.
desperate. Unless you're
Zeke, you
desperate.
start Zeke if you need a running back.
Like if you're on a bye week for some reason and need, like if James Conner is, in your starting lineup
or if
and you have Zeke,
Ramondre is your primary running
yeah,
back,
and you have Zeke, that's
gotta
cool.
get
All right,
Zeke.
so
If
Ian,
I'm playing against you, start Hunter Henry.
yeah, right. Ian,
Yep.
final thoughts, man.
Final thoughts. I think Philly might be a fraud. I think Philly.
All right,
I
all right.
I mean,
Hot
they're a
take.
great team.
Fraud for the Super Bowl.
They're not a fraud as in they're not a very good team, but I think championship level they may be a fraud. They do not have a championship level defense this
They do
year,
not.
and Jalen Hurts is hurt.
Yeah, they do not.
I
Lauren,
think
final
they're a
thoughts.
championship fraud. Yeah.
I think the Bears are going to pull out a win at home this weekend.
Okay. Well,
That's my final thoughts.
we'll see about that. I don't know.
I don't think the Lions are going to keep on. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see.
All right, Ferg, final thoughts.
F them boys.
F them boys.
That's
Yeah.
Ferg's final thoughts. Commish, got anything to add to that?
That was it right there. No.
Nah, I mean, I just, it's been a lost season for my Giants, so I just watch and try to make the playoffs. So,
Your defenses look really good, though.
Well,
I do have a final thought. I do have one.
Okay.
I need to win.
All right.
I pretty much in every league I'm in, except for the show league, I need to win this week.
Mm-hmm. I need you to lose.
Right now, as of today, based on what we know about football, I say that the Miami at Baltimore game on New Year's Eve is for the number 1 seed.
It might
It
be.
is likely.
I like
It's
that.
likely.
It might
Especially
be.
with Trevor Lawrence hurt, Jacksonville loses this week and they fall.
Then that would, and that then the
Yeah.
Texans lost 2 weeks ago to the Jaguars. Looks even worse.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
trust Lamar. I don't trust Lamar if he's the 1 seed. I just don't trust. I'm not.
I get it.
I'm not high on him. So he'll have
but
a chance
nobody-
to prove people wrong this year. If they get the 1 seed, he can actually get to. The
I was
Super
about to
Bowl.
say,
But
nobody
he's
wants to
gonna-
come into Baltimore and
shit
play that
bad.
defense, bro. Nobody wants to come in and
Nobody
play that
wants to come in
defense.
10-10.
Old on New
Yeah.
Year's Eve, too.
They don't want that.
That defense got bad intentions.
Yeah, they really do.
That defense got bad
They
intentions.
took the Ray Lewis road in this. So my final thoughts is Merrill, I need you to lose this week in Hoofnagel. I appreciate that. I need to beat Dorian. As long as I win, I'm in. So that's really all that matters.
Pretty much.
But I have, some questionable decisions that I need to make. I just need you to lose. So that'd be great. And I appreciate
Yeah,
that.
I got too
ahead
many
of time.
points. If I'm
I
gonna win
know.
all types of tiebreakers.
I know.
I think
I
we
got
all
one
need
more.
to go.
That's
We
what I
all
don't
need
like.
to go to Baltimore on New Year's Eve and
We
just
do.
hang out with
We
Lauren
do.
and watch that game. I am
We do.
in. I'm
Oh my
in.
God.
As long as we can go to the
I'm
spoon. As long as we can go to the
I'm in.
spoon for breakfast in the morning, I'm good to go.
One last
It's
final
downtown
point.
Baltimore.
Yeah, no,
This is
I mean,
relative-
there's a nice.
Charm City Cakes, baby.
Yeah, no, it's there's one bar right by the stadium that's really fun to go to too. I bet
Right,
no, and maybe we couldn't get to. You know what?
All right.
I work with contractors. Aren't I supposed to be able to get like tickets? Let me see. I'll work on it.
All right, so look, y'all.
All right,
So
down.
my official final point is that I will be seeing Merle Saturday as our high school
Rams.
for what, like our 22nd
23rd.
state
They
championship.
win.
23rd. I'm sorry, 23rd
Is
state
that Reedsville?
championship.
Mhm.
Again,
Yep.
yes.
Most
Shout out to
of the state.
Reedsville High. Shout out to Kendrick Harrison.
Playing at
DeAndre
Keenan?
Beal, Paul
Carter.
Wideman, Alderic Lee. Good Lord. For a school this size to have like 5 or 6 kids that have D1 offers, it's crazy.
I love it.
And
I
full
love it.
beard.
Full
Good luck.
beard. We don't have
Full beard.
Hey man, look, you gotta allow the high school kids their COVID years too, bro. Like they have
Yeah.
transfer regulations and people are playing their 8th year in high school and shit. So you gotta know
Yeah.
22-year-olds
I swear to
playing
God.
high school ball.
There's this kid. His name is Paul Wideman. I think he's a linebacker.
dude
He
looks
like
40.
TJ Watt. He looks 48.
That dude looks 48.
Yep.
Wow. All right. Well, good luck to the Reedsville Rams. I'm gonna get out of
Oh
here
my
because
God,
my
I
voice hurts.
forgot something, Clint. I'm so sorry. The biggest football game ever for me. The only one I care about. Go Navy, beat Army.
Is
That's-
that
I'm okay with
this week?
that.
Oh wow.
That's this
Yeah.
weekend, yeah.
That's in Boston.
30,
it's
30 years ago.
Boston this year.
Yeah,
Go
it's
Navy.
I
always
would have been with
yeah,
you.
yeah.
Did y'all talk
All right,
about
y'all.
the Florida State? So y'all didn't talk
We
about that.
didn't
talk
talk
about
about
Florida
Florida
State.
State.
We
But
did,
that's
but I
because
would like
it's
to.
always about
We need
you.
I would love to
That's
talk about it
always
because
about you.
it's so silly. These people that are butthurt about it, it's like, get out of here.
I think we should talk about it next week.
Yeah.
So, but we're going to focus on fantasy next week for the most part. So come with y'all's questions. And until next week, you got the commish, Big Ferg, Lauren Hudat, Ian the Champ is back with us. And as always, I'm Clintonian here with you guys. So we'll see y'all next week, and fuck your team.
Fuck your team.
Fuck your team.
I mean, it's all